Hello guys, this is Pedram Raufi and you're watching the markets review of the day. During this program we are going to go through the market situation. We are going to go through the most important news which we have. We're going to go through the economic calendar and the economic releases which we have for today, and look through the different probabilities of trading during the day for today, and maybe we are going to actually look what kind of movement have our assets done from previous program till today. As you already maybe heard about the situation which we have on the market, it was a very big company from the real estate sector yesterday that was bankrupt, and it's really bankrupt, and because of the economic recession which is already started in China, and because of that even many other stock markets felt this recession because of that. As you see, after the bankruptcy of this big company in the real estate sector of China, many of Chinese stock market indexes have fell down, and they are going down. And this situation, it's kind of nowadays we have a little really low and not really powerful reversal. But China stock market now it's not a really good option for investors. For speculators maybe, but not for investors. Because of this situation, we actually had some problems on the stock market of the United States. The scare of this recession have touched the United States stock market as well. As you see, this impulse which have happened yesterday on the S&P 500 stock market prices, and on the Dow Jones stock market index chart, is kind of gonna continue. But there is another country which have been actually was under this pressure as well, which is Japan, but it really felt about 2%, not more. And as we see, the Nikkei 225, the index of Nikkei 500, and of course the topics, the Japanese most important indexes, have felt really not too much, because they are more strong, they are more powerful than Chinese stocks or United States stocks. And here is the problem of the economic stimulus, because Japan is going to continue to approve the stimulus for economy, for stock market, but China actually finished it like half a year ago, and United States is going to close it as well. So here's the thing that you have to be careful about. But the Morgan Stanley is telling that, okay guys, not 30% recession, but at least 20%. Just wait for it, it's gonna happen. So there was a very interesting thing that Jim Cramer said today, that you don't really have to buy the dip. You don't really have to buy these falling knives, because we are talking about the midterm investments, not about speculations. Yeah, you don't have to really buy the stock, because they don't look so healthy. And actually he said that the damage of this bankruptcy of the company, Chinese company, it is a signal for recession, of economic recession, of global economic recession, but it won't really touch United States that much. So don't be so pessimistic about the long-term or mid-term investments in United States market, especially if the microchip crisis is kind of getting stabilized lately. Let's see what we have in the economic calendar, and what we have to wait for today's trading for intraday during the day. Let's see on the economic calendar of today's day. We're gonna have some releases from United States, the existing home sales. which is going to, I'm so sorry, that's tomorrow, today. We're gonna have at 12:30 by Greenwich time building permits, which is gonna fall, and that's not a really good signal. And the European Central Bank President Lagarde, Christian, is going to speak, which is very important. Just look after them. Just see what are they going to talk about. What kind of what would be the tone of this talking? It's going to be hawkish. It's going to be dovish about the inflation and the interest rate rising or falling, decreasing. And tomorrow, very early at 1:30 at night by Greenwich time, is going to be China's bank prime rate release and Japanese monetary policy statement, which is very important as well. Japan is not going to cut the stimulus program because of the new minister, which now is working, and he is not going to cut the stimulus, and everybody knows that. So about Japan, about JPY, we can be really pessimistic, but about the Japanese stock, we cannot be really pessimistic. So be careful about that. Just take it in your mind, so you could be more informed. United States dollar and yields have been felt a little, but United States dollar is kind of consolidating. It's not falling actually. Here is a really great support near about 93 the dollars index, 93 mark or 92.80. These two marks are the very really good supports, which dollar could really retest them. But if this retest is impulsive, that would be a really good signal of next reversal of the market, of the dollar. I mean, the next return of dollar prices into a rising trend. So if we have a really in the near future, if we have some downward impulses in dollar index, it would be a really good signal. Uranium continue to rise, but it can get a little consolidate. It can really start to consolidate, or maybe even reverse about, I don't know, maybe 10% or 15%, but it can really reverse till 46. It could happen. About natural gas, which is continuing to rise, and here we have a really good support about $4.80, which have to get retested, and just after that we can be really more sure about the next reversal and next rise of the natural gas. It's going to rise. It's going to rise in long term, actually, as some people say. So let's return to our assets and let's see what we can do with these assets which we have for today. Stock market, United States stock markets, it's kind of getting strengthened above the local supports. For example, S&P 500 is strengthening above 4,340, and Dow Jones is kind of strengthening above 33,600. But as Jim Cramer said, this impulsive rising or this impulsive correction couldn't be a really good signal of the continuance of the rising trend. So maybe we should have to wait for a reversal again, downward reversal from $34,000, 34,040, 34,060 for Dow Jones, and for S&P 500. Maybe we have to wait for reversal after the retest of 4,430 or 40. So we really could have a near reversal and the continuance of the consolidational movement. Don't think that you would be not able to fulfill any midterm or intraday positions or tradings, because during the consolidational movements of stock market prices or dollar prices, there's a best time for fulfill the speculative intraday trading. So during to this scenario, Maybe for today's day, we could have a downward impulsive momentum for dollar index, which would mean that stock market could continue to rise a little bit. And this fact could help euro, pound, Australian dollar, and New Zealand dollar to continue the rise. But pay attention that from the local maximums, from the local resistance which we have here for euro is 1.1760 and for pound is about 1.3720 maybe. From this resistance, price of this pair can reverse again. For Australian dollar is about 0.73 or 0.7280 mostly, and for New Zealand dollar is about 0.7060 or 7080, which is a real far target, but 0.7060 is more realistic. So after the retest of this resistance, which we said, prices really can reverse and continue the downward movement. Australian dollar to New Zealand dollar continuing the consolidation, but here they can really reverse and go higher. I mean, from 1.32 they can reverse. You can reverse again and continue the rising. Pound to JPY, pound to Japanese yen, looks like really good. It really looks like that it could really continue the rising. But if dollar prices start to rise again, this situation here could return into a really not really wide consolidation. It could be a really shrink consolidation. So if the dollar prices start to rise here, we could really have the consolidation with a shrink one. Pound to New Zealand dollar, it could really reverse in the near future, but we have to wait for this reverse. This reverse can really happen from this range, from 1.9440, 1.9420. From this range, we really could have reversal movement upward. And about the commodity or risk assets, which rise when in the market there is something crazy happening or during the crisis. Yeah, always the commodity and risk assets start to rise. But here we have very good news about the vaccine, about the progress in vaccination, about the United States, which could really vaccinate most of its social, and after that it could really open the gates, open the borders for tourists and for people to come to the United States. And this would be a real good news for United States and for stock market as well. And this fact could really make gold to be under pressure. We always, during the latest reviews, we always told you that Zolta really looks under pressure. But here there is a kind of moment on which we have to pay attention. In the long term, gold have to reverse upward. And for this, we need some speculation. We need some crisis. We need the COVID infections to rise again, for example, in the Far East, for example, which is rising now. The statistics shows, the chart of statistic of the COVID tracker shows that really we are kind of now near to the point that we could get reversal upward. It means that cases could really start to rise because here the winter is coming, as you know. And that's really not a good news. Most of the countries are not vaccinated. Many of them are not vaccinated. And sorry. And there's only good news about the United Kingdom and United States. These two countries, maybe they won't be under the pressure. But gold could really rise speculatively on this bad news, which is going to start, this trend is going to start. So you have to be really careful. Gold in midterm really could reverse. It's already reversing upward. So in midterm, we are buying. But in short term, we can speculate how much we want. I mean, 1,760, 1,740. That's a real good range of trading or speculation. And this range is actually a support range, after the retest of which prices can really continue to rise. And about the silver prices, situation is kind of really looks like gold. And as we see, we have a reversal. We could have a reversal, long-term reversal or mid-term reversal here, but we need to wait for it. In the short-term, speculations are mostly downward, are mostly telling us, yes, in the near future, we could have an upward impulse till 2320, 2280. Really, we could have the upward momentum. But be careful, in the midterm, we could maybe go more downward and then just reverse and start to rise for midterm. So don't forget about midterm, short-term, and long-term. This separation of the chart, which could really help you. Platinum, which retested the 900 mark, and this situation here is really good as well. Prices could go more downward, more deeper, but in the midterm, this graphic, this picture looks really delicious for buys, for bulls. Euro, franc, United States dollar to franc to Swiss franc, and United States dollar to JPY, to Japanese yen. Most of them looks like so good because the prices of gold is under pressure. So we really need to wait for a reversal of this, of euro franc or dollar franc upward. So we could have a really downward momentum, which we are already seeing a downward momentum. But after the finishing of this downward momentum, after this downward momentum finishes, we really could have a reversal which could continue during some days because of the gold recession and because of the gold downward movement and dollar strengthening. Oil prices have reversed from $70 and they are going to retest the middle of this impulse. They could reverse downward in the near future. But be careful, the nearest reversal of oil prices, it is a signal, it is a moment that buyers just need to wait for better prices, about 70 or 69.40, and then start to buy again. So be careful about that fact as well. Oil prices could really get under the pressure if quarantine starts again, if China get under real bad pressures, because the China is the most biggest country which use the most largest amount of oil, and the oil suppliers actually export them a really big amount of oil. They are the main buyers of oil. So if something like quarantine happens or infection cases rising in China, it won't be really good for oil. We have to wait for this news. I think that they won't come in the near future, but they could really come out. So be careful about that. United States dollar to Canadian dollar is correctionally falling. 1.27, 1.2660, and after that we could have a reversal. We just really need to wait for this range retest. During the near future, I think we could continue the short positions, which need to be really short in time as well. But after that, we could have a reversal upward if oil prices continue to fall. But if oil prices reverse from $70, the United States dollar to Canadian dollar could fall more. Bitcoin prices, as we told you from previous prognosis, from previous reviews, as we told you, the prices of Bitcoin really doesn't look like so good. It doesn't look like so healthy. in the near future, we could have the retest of $45,000, $47,000. For Ethereum, the retest of 3,400 is realistic, but after that, they could reverse again. They could go downward again. So just speculation, again, speculation, not for investing. It doesn't look like really healthy. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any questions or if you like this video, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to subscribe on our channels. If you have any question, you can actually write the question in the comment part, and we are going to answer your questions. Share this video. Don't forget to subscribe on our channel, and don't forget to ring the bell so you would be informed in any time of the day if you have any online shows for you. Thank you guys again. Have a good trade. Till next time. Bye bye.